Florida and Georgia continue to square off on the recruiting trail as well as the cocktail party. Who gets the better hand, Kirby or Napier, before the season even begins? Next, Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. You can download the Game Time app today. More on them in a moment. He is Clint. I am Daniel, together with the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and excited to have you here. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for being an everydayer. Thanks for being part of the 199, a loyal third segment listener. And thanks for making the Locked On Bulldogs podcast a part of your football season routine, Clint. I say that purposefully because it is a football season.
It's
right now.
It's here, Daniel.
Now, camp has started.
Oh boy,
pads are popping. The offenses are being installed. Defenses are being installed. Yep. Position battles are happening right now as we speak. Players are competing for playing time, for spots to try to earn it, because at Georgia is a place where you have to earn your position, or you have to earn your spot on the field. And those who cannot earn their spot on the field simply transfer to Miami. And so we have a lot to talk about. There is plenty of stuff on the field. We're going to talk about stuff that we're hearing out of camp. We're getting some more news that's starting to come in. Georgia plays a football game this month.
Hello.
So these are all exciting things, but let's begin on the recruiting trail. Clint, Georgia got a commit that we're going to talk about in segment 2. A new commit that everyone should be very excited about. But in segment 1, let's talk about a potential flip. I think we all know how much Kirby loves the flip.
He does.
Recruiting isn't finished until Kirby says that it's finished. And so while a player might be committed to Florida, a long-time commit to Florida, long-time relationship with Billy Napier and the coaching staff at Florida, when Kirby swoops in, all of a sudden, sometimes things have a way of changing. That is the situation with a very talented offensive tackle prospect that is currently committed to the Florida Gators, Clint.
That's absolutely right. Tyler Kachuam is out here for Florida. He's listed as one of the better offensive tackles in the entire nation. He's Florida's top-ranked offensive lineman. And it's important to understand this because Billy Napier has prided himself on the state of Florida, on getting hype around DJ Lagway and this program ascending. And I've said this for a long time. We thought the Dan Mullen coaching change, which, again, Dan Mullen was a better option than Billy Napier, all you Florida fans. He was a joke, and he's better than Billy Napier. They're at a trajectory. This is a huge crossroads for Florida's program, Daniel. Are they going to continue to be trash, or can they come over? I don't think this year is going to be the year for them because the schedule is exhaustive and brutal. And Kirby's not going to let up. This cocktail party is going to be one heck of a close game because of the talent on both sides of the ball. But Kirby's already treating the projection of Florida like it's dead because he's going after the top dog on Florida's offensive line. Tyler does rank, like I said, not only for Florida's class, but in the entire state as well. He's 6'6", 290. He's in Georgia playing high school football and keeping people in state, a huge position that everybody has taken on this. He's 246 nationally, 21st offensive tackle in the country. And we know what Georgia does when it gets guys who are 4 stars that come into the program. They always develop and get better. Daniel, this is another point of emphasis. Kirby already has 31 commits. We're going to talk about who committed this last weekend a little bit more in the next segment, so stick around for that. But huge point of emphasis for Kirby: trenches, offensive line. He's already got guys in this class that have amazing floors. Brooks Austin was on talking about this recruiting class. There are just solid guys all across the board, even if it's B plus guys. They might not be A plus guys, but having 5 across that are B plus, you'll take every single day. With a couple of these guys whose ceilings are sky high, this fits that profile for me as well. We've already talked about Ogboku, who got that bump. I thought he was going to get the bump. He got the bump this recruiting cycle. Now Kirby's got his sights set on tearing down Florida, building up the Great Wall of Georgia. It's a 2-for-1 deal if it happens. Daniel, I think the biggest news out of this is all of the questions, all of the concerns of recruiting around Kirby Smart in Georgia, keeping guys in state with a heated traditional rival, Florida, and getting them to flip. The reason that even talking about this, I mean, this is big news because he didn't come out and say, like many Georgia recruits have said,
yeah,
hey, guess what? We're not talking about recruiting anymore. I'm shutting it down. No more. Tyler's out here still talking about how much of a priority Georgia is making him and Kirby Smart is making him, talking about the affection he has for the program. At the end of the day, even if he stays at Florida, Daniel, this is a huge loss for Billy Napier in Florida. The number 1 offensive lineman, he might be number 2 or 3 in Georgia's class, would slot right into that great floor.
Yeah.
Huge loss for Billy Napier in Florida. This is a bad look for them heading into a season that is make or break for them, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's plenty of reasons to want this guy. But the fact that it would help Georgia and it would hurt Florida, and he would not be the highest ranked offensive lineman by any stretch of the imagination, but he would be right there, probably second. Graham Houston, who's definitely not a tackle, more of a guard type. Also, kind of ranked right in there. I think Georgia's got some guys that will be comparable to him, but this would be a big get for Georgia as well, to bring in multiple tackles on this level that have got a chance to be long-term viable solutions for Georgia in this class would be great. And, we'll lead with this again when we open the next segment. We talk about a guy who's already committed to Georgia, but you mentioned the 31 commitments already. And first of all, Georgia's going to have a big class this year.
Huge.
Georgia's going to have a big class this year. All right. Numbers are not always the same across the board. This is not the old days of recruiting when it was like everyone takes the exact same number of recruits every year. That's not the way that recruiting really works anymore. The scholarship numbers, we could do a whole 6-episode series on that and bore everybody to death and lose all of our audience. But just suffice it to say, the scholarship number situation is weird. Georgia's going to have a really big class this year. But it's still 31 commits in right now. Okay. We are not in the phase. We are not in the season where we're taking flyers on guys.
Nope.
Clint, we are not in the phase. Like, we're on the 17th hole and we're at even par. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We can't be just swinging wild and free right now. We've got to be intentional about every move that is made, so that we can get in with the best possible class that we want. And so when you see Georgia make a priority out of a guy who's already committed to a different place, that should tell you 2 things. Thing number 1, they really want him. And thing number 2, they think they can actually get him. Like, Georgia believes that they've got a legitimate shot at this guy. And so time will tell. We'll see how it pans out. But when you see guys this late in the process being pursued by Georgia when they've already got 31 guys in the barn, it tells you something about how much the school is valuing them and invested in them. And so, yeah, it's a big priority. Let's shift gears and talk about a guy that was a big priority and now is a dog. And we'll get to that right after these.
But these are, in fact, 5-hour energy. Daniel, time to fuel up and turn it in with 5-hour energy transfusion. Bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor to your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol. And it's not a shot that you put into a syringe. It is an actual bottle that is fantastic. Liquid is quick, energizing shot. Whether you're singing birdies or making memories with friends, this one is a hole-in-one for your energy game. Daniel and I have had some wild shots out on the golf course, and every single time I think of that wild shot, I am thinking, in fact, of the absolute energetic bolt of lightning that comes through my system as I'm hitting that. And that's what transfusion is. It's good times, good people, good flavors. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. That's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF. Receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5-hour energy shots today.
Clint, we said it. Yeah. When Georgia this late in the game is going to value someone, they're going to prioritize someone, they're going to really pursue someone. They're not taking everybody that wants to come at this point. All right. Georgia's sending out quite a few no's at this point. The guys that are ready to commit, saying, "Hey, coach, I'm ready."
I don't think people understand this on the recruiting trail. There are some guys, Tyler Atkinson, who choose Texas, and Georgia has ready in the queue somebody lined up to go right in and say, "That's fine, Tyler. Good on you. Here we go. We're going." Yeah. But also, there's a number of other wide receivers that are on this class that we said, "Hey, maybe Miami is the school for you, or maybe USC is the school for you," because we're going this direction with this guy. Yeah. So I know you want to come here. That's fantastic. This is a two-way street, and Kirby Smart is saying no. So for us to get yeses this late in the cycle, Daniel, with 31 is important because it tells me that Kirby Smart and company really trust in this person.
Yeah, and the person in particular is Anthony Lunnan Jr., which, if the name sounds familiar, then it should because his dad played for Georgia. And Clint, are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
His dad played for Georgia in 1996 and 1997.
Okay.
That's when his dad played for Georgia. Okay. So whatever feelings that makes you feel as a listener, we don't need to get into that. Like, we're not here to offer a counseling session because we, in fact, need our own counseling session.
We need our own, correct.
1996 and 97 is when this young man's father played for Georgia. And what I'm trying to say, I guess, is we are very old. But Anthony Lunnan Jr., four-star linebacker, commits to, four-star defensive lineman, commits to Georgia, highly rated prospect. Again, consensus four-star kid, top 30, defensive line, according to most recruiting services. Yep. This is a significant pickup. And, well, I will say it makes me, I have a thought immediately as I see this.
Interesting.
I'm curious what your thought is. Your kind of prevailing, overriding thought is when you see this pickup.
This pickup to me is very interesting. 6'1.5", 265. Multi-sport athlete, track and field, has some flexibility, has some wiggle to him. And what stands out to me about this pickup, when you look at the scheme that Georgia is trying to do on defensive side of the ball with that not 3-4. Anybody that says it's a 3-4 doesn't know ball. Don't listen to them. Move on from ever taking their advice seriously whatsoever. Yeah. Okay, great.
Sure.
We might have 3 linebackers on the field, 4 linebackers on the field at a certain time, but we got star position. We have edge. We have Chaz Chambliss, who played edge. He was more of a defensive lineman. And Anthony actually screams to me complete versatility. I'm not saying his ceiling and his projection is Chris Cole, who we think the world of, Daniel.
Yeah.
But I am saying that when you look at his flexibility, look at his skill set, this is not just Elo Mendoza is a guy who's coming off the edge and is setting that edge hard this year, coming in from Army, being a transfer. What this screams to me, Daniel, is the rest of the defensive line, the rest of this class and this year, or guys already on campus training, the 2 last recruiting cycles, doesn't have this outside edge linebacker who does have some more flexibility. Still a big guy, still a strong, fast guy, still has productive. He is a pass rusher. Daniel. He is the
Yeah.
anti-Chaz Chambliss. Chaz Chambliss played outside edge because he was stopping the run. The guy loved watching for pulling guards and trying to put his left arm against the chest plate of a pulling guard. Anthony is not that. That's not his game. He's gonna have to do that. But his game is I'm going to get upfield in a hurry. I can go back on running backs coming out of the backfield. I can check down with that. I can go ahead and play the flat. So what it tells me, Daniel, is this is all about pass rush is what screams to me.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth in that. And as you rightly mentioned, a caveat to what I'm about to say is not all of these guys are the same.
No,
not all of these defensive linemen in this class, for example, are the same. And yet, it is worth noting, this is the 8th defensive lineman in Georgia's 2026 class. I will say that again. Georgia has signed 8 defensive linemen.
Real quick, Daniel, if the idiots who say we play a 3-4 were in fact correct, how many defensive linemen are on the field at one time?
Well, it's less than 8, no matter what scheme we out there running, okay? Unless we in the goal line, okay, on NCAA 26, unless we're in the goal line, we're not trotting out 8 defensive linemen. Now, again, some of these guys are going to play on the outside. Some of them are going to play on the edge. Some are going to play on the interior. Some are going to play D tackle. Some are going to play D end. There's a lot of body types. There's a lot of versatility. There's a lot of positions. But the bottom line is, I don't know if Trey Scott put in a formal request or something, but Trey Scott going to have a lot of new pieces with which to operate, okay? And if you know anything about my man Trey Scott, he's a guy that gets the job done, okay? There are hundreds of millions of dollars being made in the NFL because of the development of Trey Scott.
Correct.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. So 8 defensive linemen is a lot. When I see Georgia as its 31st prospect in this class sign its 8th defensive lineman, I think to myself, okay, well, that's something to take note of. Like, it's information. We are being told something, okay? Just like when Georgia goes out and targets wide receivers and safeties in the transfer portal, what are we being told? We are being told we need players at this position.
It's the biggest of lights imaginable. The UFOs are circling about you, okay?
Now, rewind to the 2025 class, interestingly. You got guys like Isaiah Gibson in that class. You got guys like Elijah Griffin in that class. Like,
you just listed 2 of the top 20 players nationally.
You've got premium players on the defensive front in that class. But clearly in 2026, the mindset is that we are going to supplement in bulk. We are going to surround these players with a lot more options, a lot more bodies, a lot more rotation on that defensive front, a lot more guys who are capable of playing. The days of going out, and absolutely no disrespect here, because he might turn out to be one of our better defensive players on this year's team. So absolutely no disrespect. But the days of going out and getting a Xavier McLeod in the transfer portal are done.
See, thank
Georgia.
Thank you.
And that's not a knock on Xavier McLeod, who's a good player and is going to contribute positively to Georgia this year. I'm just saying, Kirby says, I don't want to have to do that anymore. I don't want to have to go to South Carolina and get somebody anymore.
Thank you. Kirby is taking lotto tickets, because this is what I know about Kirby Smart, and you've seen this. The Tyke Smith, the Richard LeCount, the Malachi Christopher Smith, people who go in the top 30 picks of the NFL, who want to play safety in the NFL, come to be trained by Kirby Smart, because he gets you in the league.
That's where they want to be.
even if you're at West Virginia and you're an All-American, you're coming to Georgia to get better so that you can go to defensive line is a little bit more of a lotto ticket, harder to project and harder to play. So Kirby says, give me all the lotto tickets in the world. And what he is saying is, if there's other people already around, the bat signal is out for them to come to me, and I will find them and I will get them into the first round. I will make Tyke Smiths. I will make Christopher Smiths. I will make Malachi Starks. I will make KJ Boldens. You give me one of those dudes on a team, we're doing just fine. You get two of them, we're cooking. And we've seen that in the transfer portal already. Defensive line, he's just saying, hey, Trey, why don't you take the helicopter? Why don't you take it for a little run?
Yeah.
Get fueled up. And 8, Daniel, Kirby, this is how Georgia was made under Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
And this is the recipe, and he's doing it again. And it's so much fun to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's 5 defensive linemen. And by the way, I'm counting edge players on that, defensive line. It's 5 defensive linemen in 2025 and 8 defensive linemen in 2026, including 3 5-star defensive linemen in this 2025 class, Clint, that are now going through their first fall camp right now. Going to get the motion, you're going to get the reps, going to get the playbook. 3 5-star defensive linemen. Pair that with Jordan Hall.
There it is.
Pair that with the aforementioned Xavier McLeod. Pair that with Kristen Miller. Pair that with the wealth of talent that Georgia already has up front. And then what the heck? Let's just back a dump truck up and let's just unload another monster class of defensive linemen right on top of that. I don't know how many more years Glenn Schumann's going to coach at Georgia, but I can't imagine Trey Scott going anywhere. Like, Trey Scott's got it as good as anybody's going to have it.
It's like Achilles, Daniel, and it's like Brad Pitt in the movie. Just you wake him up, you say, hey, could you come out and slay the giant, and then go back to doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. And goes like, okay.
All right. I guess so.
We're going to come back after this. We're going to talk about how you, corporate
Travis Schumachery.
You can't make me say what I don't want to say, and I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. Next, Locked On Bulldogs. But first, I want to let you know about Game Time.
Game Time.
Game Time is fantastic. We love Game Time. We've all been there, logging on early and trying to wait forever for concert tickets. And lo and behold, you have to hit refresh and maybe you get kicked out. Maybe the internet goes down and all of a sudden you're back to square one.
I hate it when the internet goes down when you're trying to do something important that requires the internet, Clint.
Why? And I don't like it when that happens and then you can't get hold of a customer. Don't mess with that. Get on your phone. Get on Game Time. Game Time makes concert tickets faster and easier before prices actually get lower the closer you get to the show curtain going, dropping off. 60% off. Killer last minute deals. Tired of endless scrolling? Don't do that. You got zone deals. Pick the best seats in your section. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Today's third segment, Clint, is sponsored by The Truth.
No.
That 2 things.
Today's letter is T.
Today's letter is letter T. Today's 199 segment is brought to you by the reality that 2 things can be true at the same time.
Give it to me.
Okay. Thing number 1, which is absolutely true.
Okay.
Thing number 1 is playing the Georgia Tech game off campus is an abomination to college football. It is deplorable.
It is.
In every way. It is bowing the knee to the almighty sponsorship dollar and watering down the greatest sporting product that the United States of America has ever known. Do I need to be more clear? about what's happening.
Daniel, we're not accused of mincing our words at all. We're pretty, but
Trying not to.
May I just suggest you have even been more direct than what people have accustomed to on this show.
It's foolishness, Clint. It is borderline evil. What is happening?
Some might call it malpractice on behalf of college football to take a good thing and make it less than great.
I know that I share this sentiment with so many of you who are listening, including our good friend John Tweet Sports, who's made this his passion project over the last 48 hours. I know that I share this sentiment with so many of you, but please just allow me to use my tiny little platform here to beg the universe. Play college football games on college football campuses.
There it is.
Because that's where they belong. That's the best place to play the games, Clint, on the campuses. We could list 100 things that are great about college football. Number one on every single list would be the home field advantages that teams have on their college campuses. Play the games on the there's no reason for this game to be in the bins. There's no reason for this game to be moved to a quote-unquote neutral site. There's no reason to put a sponsor on this game. It is clean, old-fashioned hate. It is sponsored by hatred. Hatred has been sponsoring the game for 100 plus years. We don't need Invesco to come in and try to sponsor it. Play college football games on college campuses. End of sentence. That's thing number one, Clint. Thing number two, which is also true. Okay.
Hey, people, if you didn't know my man was going to first zig and then zag.
No. This is not a zag. These are parallel lines. These are both true things.
I hear you.
Clint.
Yeah.
Tell the people why this is great news for the University of Georgia this year, right now. This is wonderful news for us.
You seen that schedule, Daniel? You seen Brent Key and what he has been able to do, and how much fire and hate he has for the University of Georgia.
Does your DVR still have last year's Georgia Tech game, which was played in Athens, on it, by the way? You could just go check that out if you wanted to.
I have a parental control that stops me from getting. I asked somebody to put a password protect on
M-Dubs gets an email when you go try to watch that game.
To not allow me to watch that.
He's gallivanting off in Europe somewhere. His phone blows up. It's like, oh, Clint's trying to watch the Georgia Tech game again. Also, I should check on my brother to see if he's thawed yet, but I do not believe he has. T's and P's to Daniel Smith. Still trying to warm up.
That man has that mustache. I mean, I'm talking about he's doing one of these boxing things. He came out of that thaw doing one of these, thinking he was wearing knickers. Fantastic. Daniel, a neutral site game for Georgia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel.
Explain the neutral site for those of us that aren't following, Clint.
There's no neutral site when you take it off of somebody else's campus and put it where Georgia fans can get to easily and travel to warmly, comfortably, and be right at home. This is great news because, Daniel, this turns into a de facto home game for Georgia.
It was already going to be 60-40 Georgia on the flats. Okay. It was already going to be 60-40 Georgia on the flats. It's always, and that's like the best Tech can do. This is the most excited Tech could be. Like some years it's 80-20 Georgia at Bobby Dodd. At Bobby Dodd, it was always going to be 60-40 Georgia. But in the bins, Clint, you got more seats, which means more Georgia fans. It means more Georgia fans.
51,000 is how much Georgia Tech could stuff into that. 20,000 of which are Yellow Jacket fans. The rest, now 51,000 is how many Georgia fans will likely get the bins.
Georgia fans have adopted Mercedes-Benz as basically our second home stadium.
Correct.
Like this was supposed to be a road game, and it was gonna be, again, 60-40 Georgia fans, but it was gonna be a challenging road test. This is now gonna be like 75-25. I fully expect a 75-25 split in a 70,000 seat stadium where, yeah, like you said, you're going to have 50,000 plus Georgia fans the Friday after Thanksgiving at night in Atlanta. It is a big break for Georgia. Now, if we have to do this in future years, obviously you lose a home game.
Yeah.
You lose a freaking home game to go down to Atlanta where less people can get into the stadium and watch versus the 97,000 that can fit into Sanford. That's an abomination. The first thing I said is still true.
It is.
But this year, this is very good for Georgia in terms of beating Georgia Tech this year. And again, Georgia fans, if you are not even remotely thinking about beating Georgia Tech this year, allow me to just steer you back into reality, because your football team that won the SEC had no business beating that team last year. And I know we think Georgia's better than they were last year. Guess who else is better than they were last year? Unequivocally better than they were last year, Georgia Tech.
Haynes King has this circled. Brent Key has this circled.
Yeah.
I've talked about this schedule lining up well for them. It is good news this year. And while we are focused on this year, that's all I care about, because I want to get back into the semifinals. I want to get back to the national championship. Yeah. I want the defense to eat. Mercedes-Benz gives us the best chance of doing that. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. We'll be back tomorrow talking top 10 watch lists preseason. Where the Dogs rank on that. See you guys then.
See you.